when I first started in pro wrestling, you see you got different boots of different wrestlers that have been on the road, but these are Dynamite Kid boots and the British Bulldog. Well, what I learned in wrestling when I first started, Klondike Bill said, Tony, this is a paid trip around the world. Now, I thought he was talking about, when you say a paid trip around the world, I thought he was talking about places. But he wasn't talking about places. He was talking about people. You could be riding in the car with a wrestler that came straight from England. You could be riding with another wrestler the next day, like the Iron Sheik, who was the Shore of Iran personal bodyguard.
Yeah.
So one day you're riding with Irania. So without even going to Iran, you could learn from the Iron Sheik, because the cars conversation, we lived in the cars. Most of the trip were 2 to 4, up to 8 hours in a car. So what the wrestler do in the car when there was no cell phone and none of this other stuff? We talked. So I would be riding with a wrestler, and I would say, well, where are you from? Well, I'm from Iran. Well, what do you do in Iran? I was asked the Sheik. The Iron Sheik said, I was the Shah of Iran personal bodyguard. Then I would ride with another wrestler that is from another part of the world. So I could learn all about that country without even going to that country. Because every wrestler back in the old days, they wanted a wrestler from different places. Like I could talk a Bushwhacker. I could learn all about Australia without going to Australia. So when Klondike Bill told me you're going to get a paid trip around the world, I thought he was, like I said earlier, I thought he was talking about places. But then later on I visited them places. But then when I went to them places, I understood these places because I got a schooling from that person. When you ran Stu Hart, you learn all about Calgary without going to Calgary. You meet another wrestler that's from Mississippi. You've probably never been in Mississippi a day in your life. But when you go to Mississippi, there's places and things you know, because there was an old saying in wrestling, telephone, telegraph, and tele-wrestler. So what we do if a wrestler just came from Texas, if he just came from Texas, then Luke would tell you this, we would ask that wrestler, well, what's going on in Texas? Well, that wrestler would talk because that kept us awake. Because when we talked to each other in the car, that was a way of staying awake. Because like I say, most of your trip was anywhere between, if you got a 4-hour trip, that was a short trip. Most of the trip was 4 to 8 hours of traveling.
There and back.
There and back. So you wanted a guy like if you noticed that me and Luke, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
The reason we talk a lot because that's how the wrestling world was. They would tell us stories about what happened here, Like I do not have to be like, for example, I'll give you a quick example of what I mean by telephone, telegraph, and tele-wrestling. I went to Japan one time, and on my way back, I stopped in Los Angeles, California. So anyway, I stayed at this Beverly Hill Crest in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hill, California. So they had a valet that would park your car. So I used to carry a wallet, and then all those guys started carrying this because it's easier to keep up with, fanny pack. But before it was a wallet. So my wallet, every time I used the bathroom or something, my wallet would drop out of my pants. Well, it did. Well, anyway, it dropped out in the car one day. So the valet that parked the car took my wallet. So I went to the bank because I was living in Los Angeles. I got more money out and everything. I found the wallet, but the money was gone. So lucky for me, he left the wallet because my credit, I didn't have a credit card there, but I had my driving license and all that stuff was in the passport, all that was in the car. I just got back from Japan, so my passport was in there. So I get to the dressing room, they said, Tony, how much money you had on you at the time? I said, I had about $300. $300, what I told the guys in the dressing room in Los Angeles. The next morning, I got on an airplane. The next morning, well, S.D. Jones heard about it. This is the next day now. S.D. said, hey, Tony, now listen, I lost $300. S.D. Jones said, hey, Tony, I hear you lost $10,000.
Oh my God.
Telephone, telegraph, tele-wrestler.
But each wrestler would tell the story. They would add money to. So the first guy that told the story, it went from 300 to 500. Yeah. Then it went from 500 to 1,000. Then it went from 1,000. By the time the story got to me, it was some wrestlers love to some wrestlers to make themselves look good. They like to over exaggerate.
Expand it.
They expand it. That's right. They will expand. They will expand what you say.
That's how you learn too about other territories, because other guys would come in the car and you talk and you think, oh, that's a good place for me to go next.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we knew.
That's how we learned.
That's right. Yeah.
That's how we. There was
no cable.
There was 25 territories in North America.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you guys didn't like to travel with, or anybody that you wouldn't talk?
This is what I learned when I first started. And Luke come back up. I asked Johnny Weaver. I said, Johnny, because I was doing my first 200-mile trip. The first time I went 200 miles. So Johnny would say, I said, Johnny, is that a long way? He said, it depends. I said, depend. He said, depend on who you ride with. If you ride with a guy that likes to laugh and joke and have a good time, a 4-hour trip would feel like a 2-hour trip. But if you ride with somebody that bitch and complain all the time, a 4-hour trip would seem like an 8-hour trip. So we like travel with someone that would like to have fun. If you was a complainer, and you like to whine and complain, most times you went by yourself. Nobody wanted to ride with you. Because what we had to do, we had to keep each other uplifted.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ride with a guy that's going to pull me down, talk about his problem with his wife, the problem with his kid, the problem with his hemorrhoids and all. We didn't want to hear all that. We wanted somebody, and they used to like me a lot. I changed over the years because George Scott said, Tony, the thing about you uplift the boy. Because I like joking around. When you first come in, what the first thing I get in? I started doing what?
Talking, joking around.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you got there? Wait,
we had to. We were talking about cutting Tony off. We're just kidding around.
Yeah.
So Jordan,
Iron
this is
Sheik's trunks when you first worked with Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
So we believe these to be the trunks that started Hulkamania.
Wow. The boner trunks.
The boner trunks. Yeah. So this
boner
is
trunks.
pretty cool
Yeah.
piece of history.
And here's part of the history right here.
Yeah. So
they say that the Sheik had a boner during the
it
match.
was funny. He went on Howard Stern show about that, and Howard Stern was asking about that.
There's the trunks there.
So we believe, and these would be.
There's the trunks there, Tony.
These are totally worn down, but these would be your typical Carl and Hildegard trunks. You know, again, worn down.
Was he a fun guy or a funny guy to travel with, the Sheik?
Tell us some good. There's always good Sheik stories.
My partner had to go home to get remarried, to hold his marriage together, because we're over in Texas and she's over in New Zealand. We caught up Ole and we get him to come in for a month to be my partner. Boy. Imagine him, you know what he was like, Tony. I had Casro as my partner, and I could talk some stuff, but it's not. There's a woman involved here, and I don't want to bring up about Casro in the dressing room, riding the camel. But he was wild, and you know, someone would be shooting up steroids, and he'd say, "What's that?" You know, what does it do to your body? And in the end, he would say, let me try some. You know what I mean? And you know he'd been on the steroids before.
He was getting freebie, trying to get a freebie.
Freebie. This was 83. You know, when I'm talking about him as my partner in Texas for Southwest Championship Wrestling. And later on, when I went to WWF, and now in the mid-90s, he'd been fired, he'd been brought back, and I had a lot of stories with him, with the drugs and that. But he'd been fired, and I've been in college campuses, we've gone in, and there's been these kids, 270 pound, you know, last year in college and that.
Yeah.
He would get on the mat with them, one after another, still with a big pot belly, but he'd have them pinned down, and they'd be tapping.
Yeah.
Right, Tony?
Yeah.
He still had it. He still had that. And I talked to him a week before he died. And he loved New Zealand lamb. Because he'd been down in New Zealand. And you know, those people, they eat a lot of lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and I talked to him. He was very frail and weak. Talked to his wife. I feel bad because I haven't kept contact with his wife, because I usually do, like with The Rock, Rocky Johnson. I still talk to his wife and that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because Rocky, and I go back to the 70s with Rocky, wrestling Rocky in New Zealand. When Peter was down there to wrestle Harley, Peter wrestled Harley.
Yeah.
And Rocky was on the card. Rocky and Rick Martel against me and Butch. So I've known Rocky for a long time.
When I first met the Sheik, he was my trainer. I was breaking in Charlotte, North Carolina. Didn't have wrestling school then. The guy that came up in the wrestling school was Larry Sharp. They had Stampede.
Yeah.
Stu Hart had a
Yeah,
school. This is in the early 70s. And they were around 74, 75.
He trained with Vern, right?
Yeah, the Sheik came in with Ken. Where the Sheik came in to work for the Crockett for a short period of time.
Okay.
So they would have the Sheik to come down to work out with him, Ole Anderson, Ken Patero, what's his name? Larry Sharp, Charlie Fortin. These guys were Bill Howard. These was all the guys that worked with him, but Sheik was one of them. Well, anyway, with the Sheik, the first, me and him became friends. I was in Japan one time, and we had a guy in the wrestling world that was considered the toughest SOB wrestler overseas. His name was Carl Gotch.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Gotch. Anyway, me and the Sheik, we went to the gym. We went to the gym and we worked out. Carl Gotch was at breakfast in Japan. Carl Gotch kept looking at me. You got some big arms, but you got a pencil neck. You got big arms, but you got a pencil neck. You know what I do with your pencil neck guy? Well, the Sheik liked me because he helped train me. So the Sheik said, Mr. Gotch, you talk about the big arms. The Sheik have a big arm. You talk about going to the gym and lift the weight. And the Sheik, I go to the gym with the Tony of a USA of a Atlas. I tell you, Mr. God, I do not have the pencil neck. I go to the gym. I don't have the pencil neck. If you want to try somebody to go to the gym, you don't mess with my friend or Tony US of a Atlas. You come, you take on the Sheik. Come now, the Sheik will show you what the Sheik could do. Gotch left the room. Wow. I have never seen anybody. The Carl got back down. He stood up, the Sheik stood up there. You come. Now everybody know the Sheik had a drug problem. We all knew that. The Sheik, I'm at the airport. The Sheik, I said, Tony, you come over here. Hun, brother. You take hit. He got a crack pipe.
Wow.
He's at the airport.
Yeah.
But he go to a gate where nobody's sitting. Nobody's sitting there. I said, Sheik, you can't smoke here. Oh, look around. There's nobody here. They can't see us. They can't see us. We could do this. So he's smoking crack. Now we get on the airplane. Don Morocco, you can ask him this, got us all moved up to first class. Now we're going up to first class. Well, the Sheik pulled out his crack pipe. The stewardess come over and say, sir, you can't do that here. Oh, what you talk? You can't tell the Sheik. I humble the brand black. I bend him over and I humble him. I beat the Hogan. He's nothing but a big I beat the big Hogan, and I will whoop you. You bring the Sheik a drink. You go. You. She walked away, and guess what she did?
Brought him his drink?
Brought him a drink. The Sheik got away with the stuff that we were going to jail for. You know this, right?
Now,
He could get, I've never seen nothing like this.
Going through TSA, the berserker was in front of him, and that he dropped a little thing of coke in the berserker's bag.
Yeah.
And berserker's on 10 years probation from the manslaughter thing. And that, drop him in the bag. Berserker goes through, gets to the other side. He doesn't know he's carrying the coke. He gets to the other side. The Sheik comes to him, Berserker, open your bag, please. And he pulls out the fucking coat. And the agent saw this.
Put it in his bag,
Yeah, the agent saw him do this, take it out of the berserker bag, put it in his own bag. They fucking grabbed him and they sent him back off the trip. Vince fired him that time. Now the other time Vince says to him, now I'm not here then, but Tony is. You were positive, Sheiky. You were positive.
Oh, yes, I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
You do it. You tell the story.
Okay, Vince going to have drug testing. He never had it before. So he was in the room getting high with a bunch of boys. And Vince come in and said, Sheik, I have to talk to you. Sheik said, yes, sir, Mr. McMahon. What do you want to say to the Sheik? You tell the Sheik what you want. What, Mr. McMahon? The Sheik is great. The Sheik knows that. You tell the Sheik how great he is. Said, no, Sheik, you're very positive. Yes. The Sheik is always very positive, very positive. He said, no, Sheik, you don't understand. Being positive is not good. Being positive is not good. He said, no, Sheik. He said, positive is bad. You failed the drug test. Oh, the Sheik failed the drug test? Then she said, yes. Well, what about the Hucker Hogan? What about the Ronnie Piper? They was in the room. The Morocco. He named everybody that was in the dressing room. He said, they all smoke from the Sheik pipe. They all do the cocaine. They are positive too. That's why they didn't fan him or fire him. He said, the Hucker Hogan, he just smoked from the pipe. The Cindy Lauper, she spoke for the Sheik pipe. The Cindy Lauper, she did. The Cindy Lauper, she's also a positive, like the Sheik. How come the Sheik is the only positive?
That is awesome.
And Don Morocco, he give it to me. He give it to me.
Another time, the guy had a girlfriend. I can't remember the whole story. He had a girlfriend. And he said, I got to go get something. And he left her in the room where the Sheik thought he left the girl to him. He thought that...
To ride the camel.
He's going to ride the camel. So for the Sheik want to have sex with the girl. She didn't want to have sex with Sheik. She knocked her out and threw her out the room.
Oh my God!
Said, Sheik, what happened? Oh, this little fucking bitch. She come in here. She smoked the dope. She talked to the Sheik. She could take the picture with the Sheik. The Sheik give her an autograph. The Sheik want a little blowjob. She don't give the Sheik a blowjob. I knocked the bitch out and threw her out.
I think that was
Different times.
Away with
It's a
it.
Marty Jannetty story, I think.
He did more. He was like, we couldn't believe that this guy could do so much.
And never end up in jail.
What about all the stuff he did online afterwards?
The name.
Yeah.
Well, I was there the night that
Howard Stern stuff.
If you watched the match with Hogan, I was there this match. Me and Rocky Johnson were the match right after this. We followed this match with Hulk Hogan. The idea was Hogan was coming in. They would put the belt on Hogan. But due to the fact that Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund had the title. Bob Backlund was a babyface. Hogan was going to come in there babyface. So they couldn't draw money with babyface match. So they had to take the belt off of the babyface and put the belt on a heel.
Right.
Where they chose the Sheik, they gave him the belt. Now this is what made WWF big. The Ayatollah Khomeini made the WWF. Because if you remember, they was holding the American hostages at the time.
Yes.
When Vince got the bright idea to put the belt, the Sheik he was getting ready to leave the territory until they held the American hostages. So they put the belt on Iron Sheik. The biggest problem that Vince had when the Sheik was champion for that 1 or 2 months was getting him in and out of the arena without getting killed. People wanted to kill him. He had security. So they came in the first night where they didn't think that Backlund was going to do the job. Backlund would not drop the belt to Hogan. He wasn't going to do it. So they said, how are we going to get the belt off? So they had a backup plan, a screw job, like the one that they were Brad. Vince always had a backup plan. So they said, what if Backlund can't beat the Sheik? I mean, what if the Sheik can't beat Backlund? Because Backlund was just as tough.
Yeah.
So anyway, Backlund kept trying to hook him, the Sheik kept trying to hook Backlund. Backlund broke out of everything. Finally, they got nervous. And it never happened in the wrestling world but one time. The title was changed without a submission and without a pin. They threw in the towel.
Oh, yeah.
Backlund did not speak to Skona no more because he didn't know that would happen. That was a screw job to get the belt off of Backlund. They screwed Backlund. They did it again with me and Rocket. If you look at that tape, I did not know we were going to drop the title that night. I didn't know. I thought it was just a regular TV match. Next thing I know, I'm looking up and Rocket was getting pinned. I was outside the ring with Murdoch. And Adrian rolled Rocket up.
Wow.
They did it with Bret Hart. They did it again with Rene Richter.
Yeah.
Vince always,
you're right.
Right, so Vince always have a backup plan. If this don't work, then we do this. Well, the backup plan, if the Sheik couldn't get the belt, because Backlund was not going to lose to Hogan. Backlund would have stretched him and beat the hell out of him. And Vince knew that.
Yeah.
Because Backlund was old school. He believed that if you can't do it for real, you should not. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That was just Bob Backlund, the way he
Yeah,
said.
right.
I mean, this guy was an Olympic champion.
Old school.
Yeah. It's Stu Hart. A lot of the old timers, like if you wrestle with these old shooters in the old days, they would put you over, but they would beat you so freaking. They would.
Yes.
You would win the. They would win the match. You would win the match, but lose the fight.
Yeah.
And that's how the old time was. They would beat you like Mad Dog Vachon. If Mad Dog Vachon had to put you over, they believe in the older days that when you lose to keep yourself good, take 70 to 80% of the match. Right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay,
how
that
these
makes
old
sense.
times was.
Save face.
Yeah, to save face. Because if you let a guy just beat you to death, then you no more good at promotion. You make no money.
You're useless.
You're useless. And you can't feed your family being useless. So, like, that's what made Johnny Ross so good. Johnny Ross would lay down for you.
But he worked the match.
But he would control the match. Johnny Ross would beat you from beginning to end. And then
I've been there.
right? I mean, you had to fight for your life with Johnny.
Even later on in life when he was fucking old, he was still
They're
the
like
same.
the Sheik wouldn't sell for you either. The Sheik didn't take bumps. He would and just come in and just stress the hell out of you. Where Backlund was the same way. Backlund would not refuse to drop the belt. So they had to use the Sheik to take the belt off of Bob Backlund. Yeah. But they wasn't sure that the Sheik could do it, so that's why they threw in the towel. And if you look all through wrestling, that never happened but once in the whole time of wrestling.